In the lush kingdom of Dhomi, known for its powerful kings and deep forests, a secret force protected the land, the Agoji, an army of warrior women. These women were not only fierce, but deeply bonded by a sacred oath to protect their kingdom with their lives. Their leader, General Naniska, was a name spoken with both reverence and fear. But Naniska was not born a general, nor did she dream of war. As a child, Naniska had lived in a small village by the river, where her days were filled with laughter, song, and the rhythms of daily life. Her mother was a healer, known for her potions and her wisdom. But their peace was shattered one stormy night when slavers raided the village, taking away the strongest men and women. Naniska's mother was among them. Devastated and alone, Naniska swore she would never be helpless again. She left her village, making a dangerous journey through the forests, determined to join the Agoji warriors. She had heard of them, women trained in secret arts, protectors of Dhomi. But when she arrived at the palace, she was met with skepticism. The Queen Mother, Ibissamai, the commander of the Agoji, stood before Naniska, her eyes cold as stone. "What makes you think you are worthy to fight for this kingdom?" Ibissamai asked. Naniska bowed her head but spoke with the fire of her broken heart. "I do not ask to be given anything. I will earn my place, or I will die trying." The training was brutal. Naniska endured endless days of combat drills, running through the forests and nights under the stars, honing her senses. Her body bore the scars of her struggle, but her heart hardened with purpose. As she grew in strength, she began to bond with the other Agoji women. Aminata, the swiftest runner, Bizi, whose laughter could ease the hardest day, and Zuri, a warrior with a painful past much like Naniska's. Soon, Naniska's skill in battle surpassed even the veterans. Her courage was unmatched, but her spirit was restless. She often ventured out on her own, sneaking into enemy territory to gather information, a dangerous but vital task. It was on one of these missions that she first saw them, the invaders. A vast army of foreign soldiers, armed with strange, powerful weapons, marching toward Dhomi's borders. Naniska rushed back to the palace with news of the coming danger. The king, Oba Adagok, was troubled. He called a council of his warriors, but the men of Dhomi were fearful of the new weapons the invaders carried, thunderous guns that could kill from afar. "It is hopeless," some of the men muttered. "How can spears stand against such power?" But Naniska, standing tall before the king, spoke. "We do not need to fight them as they fight us. The forests are our home. We know the rivers, the trees, the land. We will use the strength of Dhomi itself to defeat them." The king, seeing the fire in her eyes, gave her command of the Agoji. But this decision was not without conflict. Okoye, one of the king's most trusted male generals, was enraged that a woman was given such power. He confronted Naniska in the palace courtyard, challenging her to a duel. With all eyes watching, the two warriors faced off. Okoye swung his sword with brutal force, but Naniska danced like the wind, her movements fluid and graceful. With each clash of their blades, the crowd gasped. Finally, in a swift motion, Naniska disarmed Okoye and brought him to his knees. The onlookers were stunned into silence, and the king declared Naniska the rightful leader of the kingdom's defense. But Naniska knew this was only the beginning. She trained the Agoji harder than ever, preparing for the inevitable war. They ran through the forests at night, learning to move without sound. They practiced ambushing enemies, striking from the shadows. As the invaders drew closer, Naniska and her warriors made plans to meet them head-on. The day of the battle arrived with the sound of drums echoing through the kingdom. The foreign army marched toward Dhomi's capital, confident in their strength. But they did not know the land as the Agoji did. As they entered the dense forest, they found themselves trapped. Every path led them into an ambush. The Agoji struck from all sides, their spears and arrows raining down like thunder. Naniska led the charge, her spear flashing like lightning as she felled one invader after another. But the foreign soldiers fought back fiercely, and soon the battlefield was filled with smoke, cries, and blood. In the midst of the chaos, Naniska spotted their leader, a tall man with cruel eyes, overseeing the battle from the safety of the rear. With a fierce cry, she fought her way through the battlefield, determined to face him. The two locked eyes as she approached, and a tense silence fell over the fighting. This was the final confrontation. The leader, armed with a sword and pistol, sneered at Niniska, underestimating her strength. But with a swift, deadly movement, she disarmed him and, in a dramatic twist, forced him to surrender. Victory was theirs. The invaders were driven from the land, and Dhomi was saved. But the victory came at a cost. Many of Niniska's sisters had fallen in battle. As the people of Dhomi celebrated their freedom, Niniska stood in the quiet of the battlefield, mourning the loss of her comrades. She knew that the true strength of a warrior was not in glory or triumph, but in the love and sacrifice shared with her people. The king declared Niniska a hero, naming her the Woman King, a title given to none before her. But Niniska remained humble. She gathered her sisters and honored the fallen, reminding the kingdom that it was unity, not weapons, that saved them. And so, the legend of Niniska, the warrior queen, grew throughout Africa. Her story became a tale of strength, wisdom, and the unbreakable bond of sisterhood. It was told in every village, across rivers and mountains, as a reminder that a woman, when filled with purpose and love for her people, could be as powerful as a king.